Good morning, everyone. I'm Jeff Johnson with 60 Minutes. It has been 20 years since the day. Today has reminded us of how far we have come. Even though the day is behind us, we still have to remember. We are starting to forget about what we went through. I want you to remember what we learned and what we fought for. Tonight is Randy Bragg, who is a native of Fort Repose, Florida, which was one of the places that weren't directly hit by the atomic bomb. Right back with a commercial break.
What it's like to be in a nuclear war. What would you need, huh? It's the new Wind-Up 3000! The features. First accessory of the Wind-Up 3000 is the light. Trying to wake up early, you can always set your alarm to the fire. Wind-Up is good without radio. I don't know. Beedo. Need some emergency lights. Oh, we got it. Yes, sir. For real pickle, hey. Oh, we have it all. Two things at the same time. Can we do it? What? Whoa! Oh, wacko. What's the price, you say?
$2.99!
$2.99. I know, supplies last.
Mr. Randy Bragg, how are you doing?
I'm doing alright. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, thanks for asking. Glad you can be here.
No problem. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
Anytime, so let's start. How did you survive so long with such little supplies?
Yeah, well, I got some information from my brother who, unfortunately passed away during the attack. But, he sent me his wife and 2 children for me to take care of. He also gave me $5,000 to stock up before it actually happened.
See how that would be hard for you. How did you manage to get your water?
No, I never really thought about it until the electricity went out after they hit the power plant. I lived on River Road, and luckily the Henrys, who were my neighbors, had an artisan well that had unlimited water. I didn't think of linking it up to my house until I ran out. The water smelled like sulfur, but it was better than nothing.
You seem pretty fortunate. What'd you do for food?
I was indeed. And again, the Henrys. He had hens with pigs and with anything that we needed for food. Malachi. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here.
Who was Malachi?
He was one of my best friends. Before the day, he was my gardener and he did some chores around my house. But after the day, he kept me alive with food, water, and labor, whatever I needed. Then the highwaymen.
Who were the highwaymen to you, Randy?
They were scumbags. The class system completely flipped. It completely changed. They were savage. One day, my friend Dan Gunn, he was one of my best friends too. He was a doctor, and he went on a run to try to help some patients. He saw a woman sitting on the side of the road, and she looked like she was hurt. And Dan tried to do the right thing and stop and help. The next thing you know, he's being held at gunpoint. They took his car, which held his medical supplies, tools, glasses. He was brutally beaten and literally had to crawl all the way back to my house. Then Malachi, Bill McGovern, Admiral Hazard, and I all set out a plan to find them and kill them. I grabbed my friend Rita's truck, and I was going to drive it with Malachi, Bill, and Admiral in the back of the truck to find the highwaymen that hurt Dan. Then Malachi did the bravest thing I've ever seen in my eyes. He told me that the highwaymen would know it's a trap if a white man was pretty well dressed, was driving a truck like that. Malachi said that it was a black man's job to do that. I hesitated, but I let him do it. Damn it, I shouldn't have let him drive. He was such a great man. We drove and we found the highwaymen like a few days after and got in a gunfight. We won, but it wasn't a joyful victory. Malachi got shot right in the torso. We rushed home to see if Dan Gunn, who was a doctor, to try to save him, but we looked around in the camp where the highwaymen were at, and we couldn't find any of his supplies anywhere. We had to try to use steak knives to operate on them. We had to boil the water to try to sterilize the steak knives, and it was just took too long, and one of my best friends died right before my eyes.
Wow. I'm sorry for your loss. You mentioned how the class system flipped. Can you explain that?
The ones who were rich with money were at the top of the class system before the day, but after the bomb, money was nothing anymore. The bottom of the class system was people like the prisoners and the damn highwaymen.
Would you have considered yourself to be at the top of the class system?
Yeah, I was up there. I was near the top. All of us on River Road were pretty lucky. We prepared pretty well, and we surely had a lot of luck.
How were you so lucky?
Well, for example, we soon ran out of salt. The last salt that we got before was 2 bags from a grocery store owner, but I paid a pretty hefty price for those. But luckily, Mr. Dan Gunn, he told us about a diary of a soldier who said that he got salt from the Blue Crab Pool, and we got 50 pounds of salt from there, and got to eat some pretty tasty crabs also.
Wow, that was really lucky.
It was indeed. But if it wasn't for this nuclear war, we wouldn't have had to go through this. It killed millions and millions of people. When we were first attacked, 16 of our top leaders were killed, and they were the most protected also. Our president became Josephine Van Broecker Brown, who was the Secretary of Health, Education, and Welfare before the day. That is the 15th person down in the presidential success list. It put millions of people in hard times. It caused acute leukemia in hundreds of thousands of people today. We still can't visit Everglades National Park. We still can't go to the old Capitol, and we won't be able to for hundreds and hundreds of more years. Our country's landscape is still contaminated and completely uneven due to the craters from the atomic bomb. People of my generation understand what happened and that nuclear warfare is not to be messed with. We are now just starting to begin to advance more and more into technology. This is to the kids. I want you to know what we had to go through, what we are still having to go through, what we had to fight for. Nuclear bombs are not toys. We are very lucky that the human race still lives on for another day. New bombs that are more destructive could be created when your kids are in government one day. They need to learn that it's not a joke.
Yes, very true, Randy. It is important that our children and grandchildren know what they are, and what could happen if we had another nuclear war. Well, sorry, Randy, but we're out of time. Thank you for taking the time to be on our show.
Oh, no, thank you. I think it is very important that our future knows who didn't live during the day. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.